Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. We are live with another live stream vid. Now, I thought I'd come on here and make this live stream vid pretty quickly, but I should be on here for quite some time because there's some few things we got to unpack here. Because if those who were tuning in and those who did not watch what just went down just now, we just witnessed, or I just witnessed, I should say, one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight boxing thus far this year, I should say, and that is Joyce being destroyed, and I mean literally destroyed by Zhang. Now, Joyce did not go down in the fight. Let's not get it twisted. He did not get knocked down, but there was a moment in that fight in the second round when Zhang hit him with a straight crunching left hand that knocked Joyce off balance, and that you could clearly see that he was hurt because he went back to his corner. I mean, now he went back to one of the corners, like spinning a little bit before the referee stepped in and tried to get those guys back into position. But anyhow, where do I start? KG round, but Zhang landed all. I gave Zhang the first round because he landed some big power shots in that first round and whatnot, and definitely stole the first round. Second round, where even though Zhang hurt Joyce in that round, I think it was the second or third, but he hurt him. But I gave Zhang that round because those power shots, man, he just could not miss with that straight left. He couldn't miss with the with the hooks. I mean, he was just looking like the more confident and more conditioned fighter, even though he came in at 280. Now, someone wonder, why did Joyce come in at 255? Because he normally comes in at 270. I think I could see why he did that is because I think he knew that he was going up against a guy who definitely is durable, but the problem is that his conditioning has always plagued him throughout his fights, a la Jerry Forrest and Villa Herkovich. That's Zhang, that is. So he felt that to kind of tire him out and make Zhang waste his punches early on, he had to, make him do so that way he could spend his energy and then catch up to him in later in the fight, which I predicted that could be the case. That would be the choice for Joyce to win the fight. Hold on, y'all. I have a call here. Give me a minute. Yo, what's up? Yeah, I'm doing a live stream right now, y'all. Yeah, I want to jump on? Yeah, jump on. Yeah, I'm going to drop the link. All right. All right, cool. All right, peace. All right. Yeah, I'm going to drop this link real quickly, y'all. But, yeah. But the fact is that, as I was saying, it's like, after I was saying, the fact is, again, I think I could see why Joyce came in at 255 because he wanted to use his feet more. He wanted to tire the guy out so that way he could spend his energy and then catch up to him later in the fight. But clearly that wasn't the case because Joyce probably underestimated the power of Zhang. And I had a conversation about this offline with some of the guys, and I said, you know what, Joyce may have a granite chin, but how long can it be? How long can it? How long can he take shots like this for guys who weigh in over an average of 240 plus pounds? Because at the end of the day, he won't be able to take those shots forever. And lo and behold, in this fight, you could clearly see that the guy was bothered and he was hurt. Yes, he was coming forward. He was still trying to apply some little pressure here and there and also circle and box Zhang at the same time. But it just seems like his punches were not really bothering Zhang at all. And he wasn't really putting much power into it. I mean, there was a moment or two that he tried to, but every time he tried to throw some power shots, Zhang would come back with a quick left. He'll come in with a double left, triple it, then he'll double the left to the body. So he was just too fast for him as far as hand speed. Zhang was just too fast for him. And another thing I have to point out is that Joe does not move his head. He keeps attacking in the center line. And his trainer, Ishmael Salis, was telling him, you're the problem why you keep getting caught with those lefts is because you don't move your head and you're still in the center line. And then as the fight progressed, the left eye was getting bashed up. The right eye got bashed up. The left was starting to get bashed up a little bit. His nose was broke. His nose was busted up. His mouth was busted up. So he took a bad beating in there. And that was only 6 rounds. That was a bad beating. And I hate to say this, and I like Joyce. I favor him. I highly rate him. But that was a bad beating. I mean, some would argue that was a little more of a karma for what he did to Daniel Dubois. Now, maybe Frank Warren is probably cheering in the sidelines because he probably didn't like the fact that Joyce beat up Dubois because Dubois was, groomed to win that fight. Let's not get it twisted because Frank Warren really wanted Dubois to win that fight. Now that Zhang has beaten up Joyce, where does Joyce go from here? All I can tell you is this, man. I think that orbital bone is broken. If it is, man, then he's going to have to be out for a long while. Now that his mandatory position has been compromised, who's the WBO mandatory? Is it Zhang? It's safe to say then that's what will have to be because Zhang will now be in position to fight Usyk for the world title. Now, that's an interesting matchup. Now, if you ask me who's going to win that fight, I'm going to favor Usyk because Zhang, again, his problem with him is that his conditioning is a problem. He won't be able to – he should be coming in 280 to fight a guy like Alexander Usyk, a guy who constantly moves in up and who moves in lateral spaces, who circles around the arena a lot, who doesn't sit still, who has great head movement, by the way, who has great reflexes, speed, who constantly allows you to reset. So Zhang will have a very difficult time catching Usyk with those lefts. Very difficult time. And honestly, again, it was a good win. Arguably, he should be undefeated because I believe he beat Filip Hrgović. Let's be real. He won that fight. But it is what it is. Now, Hrgović is probably looking at this like, nah, I'm very fortunate I got to give decision against Zhang. If you ask me, I think they need to do a rematch between Hrgović versus Zhang. But that's if Hrgović wants it. But I don't think he would want that right now because he's in position to get a title shot if he doesn't want to jeopardize that. So, what I was going to say here. So, yeah, very good win, man. But I'm going to go ahead and bring in the guys in because we got a lot to unpack, man. We got a lot to unpack. So give me one moment here. Yeah, I got to send the guys in a link because I want to get them on. I see the comments coming in. Shout out to Boxing Lounge and shout out to all of the mighty Joe hosts. I'm shocked. Yes, man, I'm shocked as well. It was a matter of time, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon. I thought maybe when Joyce was going to approach his 20th fight, then he was going to start having problems with durability or punch resistance. But he looked like he was getting knocked around in that ring for some extent because he looked off balance. And we usually don't see Joyce off balance. That's another thing, too. He looked off balance when he came in at 255. His legs looked a little shaky. Something was off about him. But like I said, no excuses. Great chin, yes, but it was a matter of time before this is going to catch up to him. And I've said this in prior fights. I said this in the Carlos Takam fight. I didn't like what I saw there. I didn't like what I saw in the Christian Hammer fight. So I said, dude, it's a matter of time so somebody's going to catch up to Joyce. Joe Parker, unfortunately, I said, I don't think Joe Parker was going to bother him. But, man, let me go ahead and post a link in the chat because the guys are waiting. They want to get in and get their thoughts. Give me a minute on that one. Joe Host Boxing Lounge says that imagine what Fury, Wilder, or Joyce would have done. AJ would have done to Joyce. You know what? I will say Fury or Wilder would have did him in. Fury probably would have outboxed him, but Wilder would probably hit him with some big rights that probably would have knocked him out. Anthony Joshua, it depends on what type of Joshua we get. A more confident Joshua who will beat Joyce, or a guy who's a shell of himself right now, as we see. A man who suffered, 3 losses out of 28 fights, and who's got his confidence shot against Alexander Usyk and Andrew Ruiz, and some will argue Vladimir Klitschko. So, yeah. So let me go ahead and do this, guys. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to go ahead and share this link right here. I'm going to post it so guys can go ahead and hop in. I'm live. Yeah, but where does Joe go from here, man? But like I said, though, if that orbital bone is broken, then he's going to really need take some time off. Not sometime. He's going to really have to rest up for almost a year. And you can say goodbye to that WBO mandatory position, as I initially stated on this live stream. So yeah, Joe Ho says, I've been saying for a while here. Yes, Joyce has a great chin, but there's only so much punishment you can take before you get cracked. Exactly. That's the thing too. Is how long is he going to continue to take punches like this against guys who weigh up at 240 plus pounds? because nobody, I don't care how big you are, you take shots against guys who weigh that much on the chin flushly, you can't take that forever. Trust me, it's going to be at some point in some time your punch resistance is going to deteriorate. So yeah, Olev says I wasn't shocked at all. Howard Foster always stops fights early. Well, I mean, look, Howard Foster do get criticized for his stoppages, and obviously with his score, when he's at ringside scoring fights. But in this case, you couldn't blame him for him stopping the fight because it wasn't him, the doctor, because he didn't like the way that eye was looking, so he did look at he sent the doctor over there like twice in that round. I think the sixth round, where he sent the doctor to look at that eye. And the second time around, the doctor looked at it and said, you know what? That's it. That eye is bad. I mean, not only is closed up on the right side, his left eye got cut up, his nose got busted up, his mouth got busted up. This reminds me of a situation where Vitaly Klitschko took damage like that against Lennox Lewis. Now, let's be fair. Vitaly actually was winning that fight, but it got to the point that Lennox was catching up to him when he was catching his rhythm, and those power shots was getting to Vitaly. So, yeah. Yeah, man. Looking at the photos right here online, man. Damn, that face looked grotesque. Look at his left eye. It was all bloodshotted too, man. It's like, whoa. Yeah, JP Nichols says good decision by the doctor. His eye was done. Yeah, I cannot blame the stoppage because as soon as they went over there the second time, to the fight doctor, to the ringside doctor, I say, you know what, they're gonna stop the fight because I just see that eye was getting messed up. It was getting worse. It was getting swollen. It was just bad, man. You just couldn't let him go out there and fight. In fact, Ismail Salas in his corner, I think in the fifth round, I believe, asked Joe, "Can you see from that eye? Can you see?" And Joe reluctantly said yes. And to me, that was not a confident yes, as Mark Kriegel pointed out, because I watched the ESPN broadcast. Yeah, that he couldn't see from that eye. He just wanted to go out there and be a warrior and see if he could try to turn the fight around. But from the looks of it, it wasn't going to happen. So it was a good decision by the referee. Again, congratulations to Zhang. Now he's in position to get a title shot. So we'll see how long he's going to have to wait before he gets his title shot against Usyk. So, yeah. I put the link in the chat. I don't know what's going on with the guys. Let me see if they're going to jump on. Yeah. I know EJ. Hopefully he could get on. The other guys, I think YG and the others. If anybody's interested, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the link in the chat. You guys can come on too. And we can talk about chop this up because, yeah, man, this definitely set. They always say anything can happen in the heavyweight division. Anything, man. What up, EJ?
Yo, what's going on, Dynamite? What's going on, people, boy?
What's happening?
I just see the highlights, bro. Like, he's struggling with the southpaw. He's thinking that JoJo's concerned southpaw, but he struggled with the southpaw. Like, the thing is, he's fought guys, yeah, but this guy was a bigger, stronger version of himself. And, he's a top Olympian. I remember watching him in 2012. Hold up. See what Dylan has to say. One second.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to take him to win. I think you stop Zhilei, Zhang. I think Zhilei Zhang will be dangerous. And yeah, JoJo's definitely a fight. I want the biggest fight there is. And obviously, Anthony Joshua not fighting me. That's Cruz not fighting me. So I know to fight Joyce.
Oh, see. So Dylan was prediction saying it was a hard fight from the start. You know what I mean? He was saying it's a hard start because Anthony Joshua doesn't want to fight him, which is, that fight wasn't going to happen. And he wants, listen, bro, he wants Joyce now.
Yeah, if I'm Eddie Hearn, I'll probably look at that and say, yeah, maybe it'd be a good time to fight Joyce now. Because that right there, if anything, that takes miles off the clock. Taking a beating like that. Let's be real. He took a beating, man. I'm sorry. I was trying to sugarcoat that person in the chat, but I'm looking at it. It's like, nah, he took a beating. That was pretty bad.
Yeah. I just watched it. Like, it seemed obviously his trainer. Yeah. He's based in America. I don't know
he's based in Jersey.
How much? Yeah. I don't know how much southpaw sparring he got or wherever. And thing as well, you made a good point because I was listening in the chat. You said he's number one ranking, and of course, right now, listen, you say Zhang Ziv is going to be easier. I said Usyk was going to have a problem against Joyce or Zhang Ziv. I would have liked the Joyce fight, but as you could see, Zhang Ziv is a southpaw, and you see how much trouble he had. So Joyce hasn't really learned how to deal with southpaws, but Zhang Ziv versus Usyk, bro. Like, bro, it's a hard fight, bro. It's a hard fight. He's slow, and Usyk should be able to move, but mate, the man obviously can hit because Joyce has been hit by some of the punches in the division, like Joe Parker, and then man like
well,
that.
here's the one thing about Zhang
never
though.
got thrown.
He may be slow on his feet. He doesn't have the best head movement, but his hands are very quick though. He got some fast hands for a guy.
No, but he got the weight. No, but what I'm saying is that heavyweight is all about the weight, man. You see what I'm trying to say? Because Joyce is the juggernaut, mainly because he could absorb and give back. And as you can see, yeah, bro, when this big man's hitting in your face, it's not. See, remember again, Daniel Dubois was hitting him in his face, you know, Joyce, right? But you know, they said Daniel's a big puncher, but this guy here is another Olympian. You know, arguably he got matched up with Anthony Joshua, and he struggled. You get me? And no one believed that this guy could come over. It reminded me of Tony Thompson when he came over and beat what's his name again? He beat what's the guy from Liverpool? Tony Thompson came over and beat what's the guy from Liverpool? What's the guy who beat Tyson Fury in the amateurs? David Price. Yeah. That's the same thing. It's like he didn't need to take this from him. He was on the verge of fighting for Usyk, and all of a sudden they put him in a very, very hard fight. And I think it's a voluntary. It wasn't like he needed to fight this guy.
No, it was a voluntary defense. I mean, it's a voluntary.
Why? Who? And I think Frank Warren and them guys, they put it in the situation because, and the thing is, he beat Hrgovic, bro. He beat Hrgovic.
I know. I'm telling you that. I'm still sticking by that. Yes, he got he didn't get the decision, but we all saw that fight. And Zhang deservedly got that decision.
I gave it to Hrgovic, my bad. I did. I have to be consistent. I put Hrgovic, you know, outward him, but he gave Hrgovic a very hard fight. So
you don't think Hrgovic is gonna want none of those problems again? He's like, no, hell no, I'm not gonna jeopardize my IBF mandatory against that guy. No, I barely escaped that fight. Nah.
Turn the heavyweight division upside down, bro. Turn the heavyweight division upside down.
Yeah,
bro.
you know, here's an interesting fact. It's an interesting fact. Zhang lost to Joshua in the amateurs. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Yeah, that's right. I watched the match. But but that's what I said to you. Joshua's got movement, and see with Joyce, he was managed very well to get to his point. Yeah, Daniel Dubois, all these guys, they're better. But this guy is Olympian in his own right, man. He's Olympian in his own right. He's round the age. He's carrying weight, and the trainer's got it right. And Joyce, I don't think he was ready for the southpaw because to me it was the right hand. It was the right hand of that Zhang. He's trouble, and for 3 rounds in amateurs, he's problems, but he used to get outpointed, right? But this one here, he had a movement, height, size. He's a problem, and it shows you that at the heavyweight division, you get matched badly, right? You're gonna get to me, Luis Ortible would have been a bad match for a lot of guys, but it's everyone he's old and but no, it's matching, and I've always said that in boxing. You know, when you get matched, your matchmakers match you. Don't match you to win, then you're gonna lose, and that's what happened. I always thought this was gonna be a hard fight, and I think
here's where it's gonna happen now because I'm just wondering. You think Frank Warren is pretty upset now because now
he's happy. He's happy. He's already wanting Joyce to lose because the thing is, he's been trying to get the kid off the books for the longest. He's trying to get Daniel Dubois to beat him. All right, Joe Parker, he put in there to lose him. So, you know, they just been throwing hard fight after time again. And you know, credit to Joyce. He's willing to take them, but he didn't have to fight him. He was next in line for the belt. He could have fought easier opposition. No one would have questioned him because he fought Parker. And straight in, this is what happens. He's you know, and I don't think there's no rematch clause for this.
No, I don't think so. If it is, then I would advise Joyce against that. Do not take that rematch.
No. You have to take it.
I know he said you may have to take it, but me, I would tell him don't do it. Don't do it because I don't think you're going to improve in much time, and plus you got to recover from that injury.
He'll be all right. They come with a better game plan. This time there's more respect because my guy Brian Nwini, he sparred Joyce, right? And I said to him, look, when you go from the start fast, and he was giving Joyce problems, right? Then Joyce turned southpaw, and I said to him, when he turned southpaw, put your lead foot on the outside, throw your left hook to the body, throw your left hook to the head, and throw a right. And he blasted Joyce. Those boys turned back, and the trainer didn't put my guy back in there with him because we had a game plan for Joyce. You see what I'm saying? And the trainer could see that my guy was giving him problems. And he's gonna upset his confidence. So they took my guy out. But my guy was surprised that, right, I could do it. But that's what I said to you, Dan. If you have a game plan and you stick to the game plan against him, you could beat him.
Right.
This is what it is. And even with Usyk and all the things you're saying, I'm saying to you, like, these are, again, like I say, I reiterate again, you're not matched to beat these guys. These guys are voluntaries or things. These are the matchmaker. If they had their own way, they wouldn't go against these guys, even though you believe Usyk's gonna win, and you should do. But bruh, that's not the type of guy that his matchmaker say, yeah, you go fight Zhang. No, that's not also Joyce. That's not who you want to fight. Yeah, you did in the amateurs for 3 rounds, 5 rounds, but not for a 12-round fight with these little gobs. Usyk's looking like, nah. Joshua, yeah, right? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll fight Joshua. He's in turmoil. He's not with the same coach. They didn't have a good game plan. Whatever excuse you could give it, Usyk came in and did what he did. But now Usyk has the belts. He's gonna have to do it. And these are kind of hard contenders. Now you got Zhang, Filip Hrgovic, and Daniel Dubois. These are all like live guys. Even Joshua, when he had the reign, he didn't have a lineup like that. He didn't have a lineup like that. And I'm looking.
No, he didn't. He didn't have that many. He didn't have that many hard. I mean, look, I know a lot of Anthony Joshua fanboys are going to get upset if I say this, but this is the truth. Yes, though he had some good mandatories. They were pretty tough. Povetkin, yes, I get that. But other mandatories he had Kuler Pulev. Okay, mandatory, but Kuler Pulev was not a tough mandatory. We all knew that. But the fact is that Joshua, right now he's not facing this type of adversity right now as Usyk is facing, because Usyk is facing guys. The mandatories are guys who in their prime. They're hungry. They won a title shot. They're either undefeated or they got one loss on their record. They're still hungry. Mm-hmm. This is dangerous, man. These dudes are dangerous and they're fresh.
Yeah, but Joshua would have fought them though. He would have fought Zach.
He would have fought them. But I'm just saying though, this is like to your point though. These are very difficult. I think these are tougher mandatories than when Joshua had to fight.
It's tougher than when Tyson Fury. It's very hard. And that's what
Deontay Wilder. These guys didn't have tough mandatories when they were champions. Povetkin. You could argue Povetkin was probably probably the toughest out of all of them. But even so, that Povetkin was way over the. He was way past it. He wasn't the same guy. But still, though, right now, Usyk has got a lot of diversity, man. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty worried if he can even hold on to those belts.
Yeah, I said that to you, Dan. I said that to you.
You did.
I don't like realistically against these type of guys in this heavyweights in a fight. It comes down to strategy, and it comes down to him because the start of certain things he's going for. That with Joshua, turmoil is the champion in terms of where his headspace is different, right? Mm-hmm. This time you're going against guys who are hungry, want to beat you, Joshua never wanted to fight him. Let's get it right. He never wanted to fight him. He wanted to fight Fury. And last minute we say we're going to fight Usyk, right? And so, I don't know how good the preparation was and so forth. But I always question Robert McCracken's question with Southpaws because, I even broke it down. I said, I don't think he understands how to beat Southpaws. A lot of people don't, right? Mr. Machine showed me, and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. When I interviewed him, he told me and showed me, in terms of like Mr. Machine showed me how to beat Southpaws. And if you don't know how to beat them, you'll have trouble with them. And Joyce, you can see poorly. Feet was in the wrong position, everything, and he did it. Now Usyk with that shows you that Usyk would have probably given him a good trouble. But now my man's a southpaw the same as Usyk. This is not where Usyk, because in Usyk in all of his career, as a professional, I'm sure he's faced southpaws as an amateur. He ain't fought no big southpaw like that. This is a problem. Yeah, and it's a problem, and this is type of guys like frig this. They're getting bigger and bigger now.
I know.
Yeah, what I'm saying? They get bigger and bigger. So credit Usyk's there. This is what I said to you, Joshua. You got to give him credit. He beat who was available, but Usyk, Joshua would have fought these guys though. He would have fought. Yeah. You know what I mean? He would have fought them, and Usyk has to fight now these guys here, and these are not. And that's what Tyson Fury is hoping for. He's laughing his head off. Fury's laughing his head off. He goes,
yeah, he's laughing his head off, but his coward ass won't even come out of the dark because he's afraid. He didn't even show up for the event, which we all predicted he wouldn't, because he's afraid of the backlash that he's gonna get from fans if they see if he shows his face. Because you can see his comment sections in the social media. People are still harassing him over the fact that he blew the Usyk fight. And he's hiding in shame. And what is he doing? He's sending his guard dogs out there to do all the talking and all the the PR and the damage control for him. Where he can't even do it himself, a freaking coward that he is.
No, but but he doesn't have to though. He just needs to defend.
Yeah, he can be happy all he wants to.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, he's hoping. This is what he's doing. He's staying away as long as he can, so that way all this will die down. Then he could just reappear. You think fans are gonna forget? You forget what he did? Nah, they still gonna let him have it. If he reappears, his face, it doesn't matter how long he prolongs it. People are still gonna come after him.
You don't have to fight him. You don't have to fight him again. It's a voluntary. But what I'm saying to you is that he's licking his lips because he knows that one of these guys is gonna stretch Usyk out, give Usyk all lip in trouble. As you can see, Dillian White's a vulture as well. The moment you lose, I want to fight you next. You see, this is what it is.
He wants something. No, Dillian needs to stay away from
Zhang. He wants to fight. He wants to fight.
He needs to stay away from Zhang.
He was because you see, like I see that you see that. Oh yeah, I could beat him now because you could see I could do better. And Dillian's like, well, I could see I could beat him now, right? So this is what I'm saying. The sport, and Fury's a vulture as well. He's a vulture. Joshua, he's never been that guy. He's never been a guy looking for guys' weaknesses. He didn't. But at the same time, he didn't fight Wilder. He didn't want to fight Wilder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and Fury did fight Wilder. Fury fought Wilder and said I could beat him. I'm a big guy. He's a big guy, but I've got better skills and I can beat him. But Joshua stayed away from that whole fight, that unification. That was undisputed. It was on the table. The negotiation should have happened. Yeah. And this is the thing: try and avoid people in this sport. It gets you beat. And I'm looking at Usyk, and he crashed up with them guys there, and they're rubbing their head like, "The fuck we got here, bro? Look who we got here." We and the thing is, who's the biggest payday out of the lot? None of them. That's why he wants Fury, because that's the biggest payday, and we're not going to get that. And you can't vacate the belts. So what do? You're gonna have to fight these monsters, man. Zhang, you maybe you can get him in Dubai. He'll fight you straight away. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, he'll fight him. He'll fight Usyk, no problem. Yeah, Zhang will fight him. I mean, obviously they'll get a big payday. Straight away, Zhang team they'll get a big payday fighting Usyk, so we know that. But
in Dubai, they'll fight him in Dubai, like if he wants that fight. But I don't think Usyk is looking forward to fight. Looking forward to fighting someone like Zhang, man. I'll be honest with you. I think he looks at that and he's straight. It's not him though, because Usyk would fight anyone, But if I'm Usyk's people, I'm like, nah, bruv. That's not that. Even Daniel Dubois, out of all of them, that's the guy I want to fight.
Yeah, that'd be the easiest one, easiest opponent, easy mandatory out of all of them.
Smartly saying Brett Royce smartly saying he's injured. He ain't injured shit. There ain't nothing wrong with him.
Hey, you know what's funny though? Let's say this. Let me say this. Speaking of Daniel Dubois, I remember that fight very, very well. I remember Daniel Dubois hit Joe Joyce with some big monster shots, and he planted his feet on those shots too. And Joe Joyce didn't even buckle in that fight. For some reason,
I told you.
For some reason, he buckled a few times against Zhang, and I'm like, what is going on here?
But Zhang is a bigger man than him. Look, ask the question: how many guys has he faced bigger than him? Taller than him, bigger than him.
I mean, Zhang is one of the biggest guys out there. He's 6'6", 280.
So what I'm trying to say, he's bigger, more weight than him, and he's a good boxer. And I'm trying to tell you, that's what I'm trying to say. What the heavyweight division is about. And if you look at Usyk going against these guys, he has all that speed and thing. But these guys are coming for you, and you see, I'm looking at him in the ring. Against Southpaw. He's fighting the wrong. You're not circling. You're not. He's circling. He should be circling to left. He should be circling. His footwork's wrong, right? And he's slow, and he's standing there, and my man just timing him good. You need to be moving to the circling, and you be able to get your right hand first. No one said he's too slow to get his shots off. That means his sparring wasn't good. They didn't bring good southpaw sparring in. And in fact, how many big southpaw sparring, big heavyweight southpaw that you can get? He should have brought in Brian Jennings. I think Brian Jennings is a southpaw. I think he should have.
No, Jennings is not a southpaw. He's an orthodox. Who's
a southpaw? Who's a southpaw heavyweight?
Dempsey McKean. He should have brought him in.
He should have brought. They should see that if he was penny pitching. That's what happens, Danny. If you penny pitch, that's what happens.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have many heavyweights that's a southpaw other than McKean and Lorena. That's it. But if those guys aren't available, you don't have anybody else.
But you see, you have to learn, man. Because the thing is, I'm looking at him, right? He's jabbing. His punches are so slow. There's no snap in the power. You know what I'm gonna say? And Zhang is faster than him. Faster. Footwork is better. And he's cool. I'm looking at him. He's piecing up.
Yeah, his footwork was good. His balance is a
Yeah,
lot better.
everything.
He was moving his head a lot better. I mean, Zhang, yes, he's
Yes,
a
bro.
slow-footed
Listen,
guy.
it gives Usyk problem, bro. I just
Nah,
think right
but the
now.
thing about Zhang is that
Listen,
he won't have the feet to catch up to Usyk. That's the thing. I don't think he'll have
you can say what you want to say there. I told you Usyk holding on to the belt, yeah, against
Yeah.
some of these guys, these big heavyweights, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a problem. Let me read the comments real quickly. Joe Host, shout out to Joe Host. He says, Zhang the heaviest opponent Joyce has ever fought thus far? Yes, he is. Let me see. Ralph on Reels in the chat. Yes, only punches that are meaningful punches. Yeah, he's responding to Boxing Lounge. Let me see. David Price got stopped in the immediate rematch, so Joyce needs to leave Zhang alone. I agree. Let me see. Shout out to Mal in the chat. Stephen4722. He said that Zhang can crack. We all knew he could crack, and I think he cracked Urkovich several times, and he should have gotten that decision and knocked him down in that fight. But it is what it is, and that's it. He hadn't fought a master heavyweight like Zhang up to this point. That's true, but like I said, though, Dubois is a very big guy himself. He's like 245-ish, close to 250, and he hits very hard. But as I said, as EJ, you brought up a good point. You answered the question. Why is it that a guy who's a big puncher as Daniel Dubois, who couldn't put a dent in Joe Joyce in their fight, and he hit him with some big monster shots, he couldn't put a dent to him, couldn't even hurt him, but yet you have this guy, Zhang, who's, who arguably slower than Dubois in a way, was able to hurt Joyce, buckle him, bash his face up, so badly. So yeah, we understand that Zhang weighs more than him, but he actually has better punch placement than Dubois. So that makes sense. He knows how to put weight on his punches much better than Dubois. So yeah, Usyk will beat Zhang on points. Yeah, I agree. I think Usyk wins that fight, but it won't be easy. I think he wins that fight pretty comfortably. That's just my opinion. But it won't be as easy early on. But as Zhang fatigues and when he gets exhausted in the later mid rounds, then yeah, that's when Usyk's gonna take over, take him apart. So yeah. But yeah, go ahead, EJ. You want to go ahead and add something else?
No, I was gonna say this. The heavyweight division is good for boxing. The topics are coming out. All this is great for boxing. It's got everyone live.
Oh yeah.
Everyone looking at Zhang. It's got everyone thinking, this heavyweight division is exactly that. It's unpredictable. It caught me sleeping. I should. No one. The guy came over and was like, yeah, Joe Joyce has got another guy he's gonna beat down. Same thing with AJ was gonna get Ruiz. You know what I mean? And now the I'm taking the rematch though. If there's a rematch, I'm taking.
Yeah, it's funny though because Ruiz was like almost the same, not same predicament as Zhilei Zhang, because Zhang was not a last minute replacement because they made this fight like 2 months in advance, whatnot. But Ruiz was like just like Zhang Zhang just like Ruiz was coming off a controversial loss, a fight that we all thought he won. Same thing with Ruiz. Some people argued that he beat Joseph Parker for the title, but didn't get the decision because he was going in the backyard against a all-time fighter. So he takes a fight that nobody thought he could win, and then he destroys Anthony Joshua, and Joshua hasn't been the same fighter ever since. This same thing with Joyce. People expected Joyce to destroy Zhang. Zhang does the opposite and destroys him, and now at this point, I don't think Joyce is going to be the same fighter after this. I just don't. I don't think so.
Man. Hello, man. Listen, a loss is in the amateurs or the pros. It's the same thing. There's money, circumstances. If you got money, spend it. You didn't have to fight the guy. They knew this guy is a tough guy, and it makes for a good fight. And Joe Joyce is the type of guy. Yeah, I'll take him because no one else wants to fight him because otherwise he'd have to wait around for a year for Usyk. But my thing is, yeah, that's fine. But then you look at his age, he's thinking, I need to get busy and active, right? And it's a good fight, but no, it's a fight that really and truly, does it really sell? Really? I don't know. I mean, everyone expected you to just walk through this guy because the Parker fight that brought more money and more success because Parker is a bigger name. Why? For the world champion, right? And Zhang for China, and this is the fourth thing as well. China's emerging as a world power.
Yeah,
we can use this guy as a propaganda tool going back to China. And everyone, China's got nuclear missiles and stuff, and this is their guy. It's almost like what's his name, Max Schmeling, for the Germany.
Lewis.
You know what I'm saying? So they can use him as propaganda, as China.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jerry Cooney. They used him as a propaganda tool against Larry Holmes many years ago. We all know that.
But this one, as China is emerging as a world power, and now their heavyweight has come over and beat one of the top contenders. I'm sure the Prime Minister of China, all that stuff is going to be laid out for him, bro.
Yeah, well, they don't have a prime minister. I think they only have a premiership, a president, because they don't have a democracy over there.
Laid out, and China is going to start making themselves a world power in boxing. Where is it? Where's that Bob Arum? Is it Macau? Where was Bob Arum having fights in China? It was in China. It was in Peking or something.
Yeah, Macau.
There you go,
yeah.
bro. The whole thing's opened up now.
Hey, let me say this though. Here's a fun fact though. You realize that Zhang is older than Joyce?
Yeah, is it? Yeah, see, no one wants to fight him either. This is what I'm trying to say about boxing. Yeah, it's the same with Usyk, right? They they match you bad, and shout out to Fight Doctor. What's going on?
Yeah, shout out to Fight Doctor in the chat.
Jump in Fight Doctor if you've got something to say as well, right? They put you in bad matchups. You keep winning. You give Hergovich the fight of his life, and now you finally get your opportunity against a guy that everyone thought is the juggernaut. He's George Foreman or whatever you say, and you absolutely smash him to bits. Bro, you gotta love boxing, bro. Like this is actually invigorated the whole division, and maybe this China's gonna get props and nothing as well. If I'm AJ, I'm taking that fight right there.
The Joyce fight?
No,
yeah.
The
Zhang? I don't know about that one. Let's take some breaks on that one. I think Eddie Hearn was probably looking at that like, nah. Let's take a step back on that one. I would not take the Zhang fight right now.
AJ beat him in the Olympics, right?
Yeah, but that was not the same fighter, though.
No, it is. No,
that's not the same fighter.
It's the same, bro. This is what I'm going to say to you. Boxing is what it is in a smaller microcosm, right? Strategy, beating before, confidence.
Okay, that's like saying Harry Tillman, who beat Mike Tyson in the amateurs, was going to beat him in the pros, and look how that turned out.
He was coming off losses. Hold up, no, you have to be factual. He was coming off losses. Look at Usyk. And you think Usyk wasn't confident that he could beat Joyce? Of course he was.
I honestly tell you,
so we have to go by. When you listen, I know, right? But as my guy is in, when we beat you in the amateurs, and we had a longer stand of foe, it's a different strategy, a more longer fight, but it's more dangerous, yeah. But you have to stick to your game plan, and if it goes off, you know what to do if things don't go wrong. And if you're looking at these heavyweights, Zhang, look at the game plan, bro. Look, he was faster, and he was more agile, and in fact, he came with the similar style when he fought Hergovich. Work rate, movement, hand speed, and that's what did it. And he's heavier. And Joyce couldn't adjust to the speed. That was the factor in that fight was he was faster. For a bigger guy, an older guy, his hands were faster than Joyce. Look, every time Joyce is trying to throw punches, he has no zip, and he looked like the juggernaut.
Hey, shout out to BG London in the chat. He say EJ, you want AJ to get banged, bro. He said you really want him to get hurt if you want him to go in there and fight Zhang next.
I'll pick AJ to beat Zhang. But what I'm saying to you is that understand. Look. Before this fight, everyone picked Joyce to beat Zhang. Don't get it twisted. All it is that when I look at Joyce, I don't think they were prepared. I don't think they brought the right sparring partners. And I feel like they underestimated him because Joyce has been mulling over all of the competition, so they probably thought he would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But it just shows you the preparation wasn't the best. He knew what he needed to do, but Zhang was faster and better. And I'm trying to say to you could clearly see that made a whole difference. Now, if you're gonna fight Zhang, right? That type of guy, you're AJ. You're like, I'll take that. AJ is an explosive.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. He cannot take that fight next. He needs at least 2 more fights.
If I'm AJ, if that's available, I'm taking it.
I would not take that fight, man. Come on, dude. That is not advisable. Do not take that fight with Zhang right now.
Listen, that's why you're not. That's why you're not a boxing guy. And
I'm not a boxing guy, but I'm smart to understand the situation.
You're not a boxing guy who go in the corner. You're not a boxing guy to go in the corner with your charge.
You really think that? Hey, let me ask you this. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say. I'm
AJ's people. I'm confident. We're confident, right? And I talked to AJ's people about Charles Martin, right? Before they fought him, and they said we beat him. Like I said, you really? They were so confident. Yeah. In the Olympics, he didn't even medal, bro. Like that's where their confidence came from. He didn't even medal, and like I'm trying to say, any little opportunity, in what you did in the amateurs against some of these guys, you give that little confidence gives you that confidence. So say we could beat him easy. He's world champ. We're betting him, and that's what you tell your fighter. Now your fighter believes in himself.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Does he believe in himself? That's number one. And number two, I would say this. Zhang actually is he's a 2008. Oh, wait, hold up. Zhang is a 2008 silver Olympic medalist. He's silver.
Hold on. Silver? What are you talking about? What?
He is. He's a silver medalist in the 2008 Olympics. The same Olympics that Wilder won the bronze.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to, who did he lose to that year? He lost to, let me check. Yeah. Give me a minute. Who did he lose to?
You got. Because I didn't know about that. I didn't even go. I thought he did. When I looked, that was the same year Joyce got to the final against the Frenchie. Against
Tony Oka.
What's that? Tony Oka. Yeah. Tony Oka beat him.
Yeah, Zhang lost to. Yeah, who did he lose to?
Yeah,
was it Roberto Clemente who won the gold that year?
No, that was things. That was Tony. That's Beijing.
Yeah. Zhang got the gold that year, and he lost. He lost against Clemente. Camarillo. No, not Clemente. He lost to Camarillo. That's the same guy.
Tony Oka won the gold that year, right?
No, Tony Oka won the 2016, I think, or 2016 gold.
Oh, okay. All right. So who won the gold that year?
The 2012? Joshua.
No, man. The same year that Zhang was. You just said we talk about
Roberto Camarillo. He won that year.
He won the gold, yeah.
Yeah, he. I think Joshua beat him in an upset in the championship.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say to you. This is where the confidence comes from. When I'm trying to tell you, that's all I'm trying to say to you on how they. But this is how people work things out in their mind. You understand? And you can't tell me not, because this is why you're confident that Usyk would have beat Joe Joyce.
I'm still confident of that one. Trust me.
No. All right. So what I'm trying to say to you on that mindset, Andy Joshua clearly beat him in the round already, yeah. And I'm saying to you, if you're Joshua, because remember again, he's only lost to one guy twice. Yeah. Usyk. There's no one else. Anyone else who's beat him, he beat the guy back, Ruiz. So there's only one guy you're wilding out. And I'm trying to say to you, if I'm Anthony Joshua, and I'm looking at this guy beat Joe Joyce, and I'm looking for another opponent, I'm going to take the guy and get my credit. I get everything back once. I
don't know. Many people might disagree with you on that one. I don't think. I'll be honest with you, bro.
Hold up, Dan.
Okay, go ahead.
I get my credibility back. I get my ranking back, and now I get put back in a position where people are going to look at me like that guy. That guy's pretty good. He's gone against the guy.
That's a good point.
So I'm saying Andy Joshua. That's the next fight I want to take. Is he going to do that? I don't know. But if I was Andy Joshua's people, I'd be taking that fight. I would. I really, because remember he's fought 24 rounds with Usyk, a superior, a difficult southpaw, right? So this one here is another southpaw, a bigger guy. He's easier to hit. He is easy to hit. Joshua's faster, and I'm thinking, we need someone like that to get us ready for Usyk. That's why I say we take it. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Well, I will say this though. You make some good points from a sports psychologist or motivator's perspective. Now, to your other point, no, it all makes sense. This would be a good, true comeback story if you could write the script correctly. I mean, that's a good comeback story. But at the end of the day, as you mentioned, is Joshua confident enough? I don't think so. Is Eddie Hearn confident enough to put him in there against Zhang at this moment? I don't think so. I mean, he has to believe in himself. I mean, at this point of his career, I think Joshua just said, "Fuck it, I don't care anymore. I'm just getting paid. I don't care if I win or lose. I mean, if the last thing I need to do is fight to where I'm trying to, be impaired health wise." So that's why he's been very careful. He's been very methodical. He's been very measured with his performances. So yeah, and going back to the comment section, there's some people who don't agree with your assessment, man. They think that you're trying to get AJ not killed, but they don't agree that you should put him in there with Zhang right now.
Yeah, of course they don't. But that's why they don't see what I see in that. And I'm telling you, that's the perfect fight for him. And others like Jermaine Franklin, he's just tweeted as well. Congratulations to Zhang, with the win over Joe Joyce.
Zhang hits harder than Andy Ruiz. I agree with that. He definitely does.
If I'm Andy Joshua, I'm like, you know what? That's a fight. This guy is hot now. China, how much money on the table? He's the number one ranked fighter. Listen, listen. I'm telling you, like real talk. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Joshua's looking for the next opponent. That's your man's right there. That he's beatable. And I'm thinking, yeah, we'll take that slice. We'll take that slice. Is Zhang's people willing to give up their number one ranking to fight Usyk? Because really and truly, that's not a big payday. Or do you go for the massive payday, which is AJ? And in fact, I got another one for you. Fury's looking on that Zhang.
What about this one? How about this one? Zhang versus
Fury's
Wilder. Zhang versus Wilder. How about that one?
Wilder don't bring that to the table. I'm talking about people guys with money. I'm talking about guys with money. Wilder's not a.
What, you don't think Zhang gonna make no money fighting Wilder?
Nah, not as much as Fury and AJ.
But he'll still make some money though. He'll make some good.
No, not the bruv. There's different millions. There's another zero added onto the check, bro. And I'm trying to say, if it's money, if he doesn't need the money because China's gonna front him, then you sit there and you wait for your contention. But Usyk, you have to wait for Usyk. You have to wait for Usyk because Usyk's like, well, who do I fight next? Well, the WBO is not there. I know IBF or WBA, so you have to wait. But all I'm saying to you is right now, Joyce is looking there, licking his thinking, why do I have to fight this fight? Who made him make the decision to fight that fight? I mean, you need to fire someone, bro. Whoever that management group here, I've sacked them straight away.
Because I mean, let me just honestly.
This guy called Shane.
This makes me wonder though. Did Frank Warren really set that up purposely to get Joyce to lose? Because after what he did to Dubois, I mean,
I believe that.
Probably that, but at the same time, you're thinking, well, wait a minute, that doesn't do Frank any good because you potentially had another pay-per-view star in the making, and yet you were primed to get him a title shot against Alexander Usyk. He would have been a good chance to soften up Usyk for you. Just in case if Usyk does beat him, then he goes in weak against Fury. So now that's out the window. You don't promote Zhang, so Frank has lost a WBO contender.
I think he likes it though. I think he wants to get him off the books.
Yeah, that's possible.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that he never. I mean, when he beat because you know why? He has no percentages in Joyce like he has his Daniel Dubois. He has invested interest in Daniel Dubois because Daniel Dubois is a donor. They sliced and diced him. Everyone's taking a cut of his paycheck, and that's what it is. And this is what boxing's become. The guy who I'm getting money from, I'm gonna back him. He's only getting promoter money. He ain't getting manager money. Or trainer money. He's got his own trainer, as you can see. So you're not really getting a slice. Daniel Dubois, you've got trainers. Trainers are getting a cut. You've got manager, promoter. They're all cutting. So it's like, you know what I mean. So it's like, yeah, we're putting him in hard fights, and because no one wants to fight Joe Joyce. You can't get fights with him. No one wants to fight him. He's just a guy that no one wants to fight. Zhang was a guy no one wanted to fight either.
Yeah, that's true.
You see Zhang, but Zhang is more. If you're looking at Fury, even though people disagree with me with Joshua, they have to agree with that. If I'm Fury, you don't think Fury is looking on that? That's my next guy. Fury should fight him, right? That's a good fight for Fury.
Zhilei Zhang?
Yeah, man. Fury.
Why not? Yeah, why not? But at the same time, he better at this point for Fury, he's in a predicament because if he takes on someone else other than Usyk, then people are going to really let him have it. I'm just letting you know, they're going to really let him have it, and fans are going to let it. They're going to let their voices know that if he takes another fight.
No one's going to be put to the fire. You see, this is the thing with you. Yeah, you're saying he don't care. Like
he may not care. Okay, if he doesn't care, then he should be hiding in the shadows like a coward, and then let his flackies go out there and do all the damn damage control for him for the last month or so. Like if you really didn't care, if you cared, you wouldn't give a damn what anybody say. You still post, you still say what you want to say. That's it. But what is he doing? He's hiding in the dark like a coward because he don't want to face the backlash for what he did for the for why he dumped the Usyk fight.
I can't believe you're calling the number one heavyweight. You can't believe that you're calling the number one heavyweight on the planet a coward. He's not no coward.
He's a coward in a sense that when he knows he's got beat in his own mind games, he doesn't want to face it.
That's in your mind. In your mind. Let's talk.
No, he's not a coward as far as a fighter. I'll give him respect there, but he's a coward because he doesn't want to face the music when things are going.
He was the face. Your man, when your man gets exposed, like everyone else. This is the vote to business, right? Look,
that's cool. But don't tell everybody you're a fighting man and then all of a sudden it's about business.
Of course you're going to do that propaganda. Yeah,
Don't lie to people.
but that's the same thing saying you're the lineal champion.
Don't lie to people. That's the problem. He was getting away with it for so long, and then it's finally caught up with him, and now he's hiding in the dark like a coward because he doesn't want to face the backlash he's getting right now from fans. That's what he's doing.
What backlash is he getting? Because he ain't getting.
Have you seen his social media posts and the way people have been slandering him?
Listen, I know you've been repeating, going on his comment. You're the only one in there.
They've been ripping him into him, and they're not forgiving him for what he did.
He's always a detractor. The guy who don't like Fury. I'll put it to you, yeah. This is the fight game, right? You look for weaknesses, and this is what the boxing game is, right? You fight these guys. Why do you think Joshua didn't fight Wilder? I can keep going on down the list. If you're looking at Zhang and you're looking to get a guy that everyone can get credit for, and I'm Fury and I'm AJ, I could beat him. I could beat him, and I could look good against him. I'll take that fight right there, and that's a fight I think most guys will take, because if you don't fight him, he's coming anyway, right? Usyk is online, and Usyk does not want to fight that guy. I know Usyk would look at that. He's not. Well, Usyk will fight whoever. His people say that's not a guy. But if I'm AJ and I'm Fury, I'm like, I could beat that guy, because he ain't nothing special. It's just that Joyce looked terrible. He looked terrible. Yeah. He did. He really did. He looked really bad, and all his persona about the intimidating guy now is gone. Dillian, I couldn't believe Dillian. It's like a vulture. Dillian's like, yeah, I'll fight him now. I'm like,
Dillian will fight him, but he's gonna get knocked out. I'll tell you that.
No.
Dillian gonna get knocked out, bro. I'm sorry.
No, not with Buddy McGurk in the corner. No.
Nah, he gonna get knocked out. Dillian should not fight Zhang. I don't. It'll be a good fight. Don't get me wrong. I'll watch that fight. It'll be a good fight, but I don't like Dillian's chances in that fight. I really don't.
Why? You said this. God. So what fight would you want him to fight next? Ideally.
Who, Dillian?
Nah, Zhang, man. Yeah,
Zhang? I mean, if anything, I would like to see him fight Fury or Usyk. One of those two. Or Wilder. Get some new matchups. Even a Joshua matchup.
I can't believe you not ever mentioned AJ. I'm just like...
Yeah, I did. I just said it. Joshua. I would like to see Joshua fight. However, if I'm Joshua's people, they probably look at that and say, "No, I would advise against that right now because Joshua's confidence is shot. You need to give him some more fights to gel in with his new trainer, with a new style. Wait, hold up. With the new style. Hold up. You need to give him a couple more fights to warm up fights to get him gelled with his new trainer with a new style, so that way he's more comfortable. He has more confidence. That's what you need for him right now. If you put him in there in the state against Zhang, that's going to be in all bad for him. I'm just saying. I would love to see the fight.
You need to explain to me how his confidence back when he beat the guy. I only gave Franklin 2 rounds, a complete shutout, won every.
No, no complete shutout. Stop it, EJ. Stop it.
Dan, tell the Dan how many, bro? Don't stop playing around.
I gave him 3 rounds, but I won't call it a complete shutout. It was a dominating performance.
A dominant shutout performance. It was a shutout.
Last time I checked, the shutout is when you don't win any rounds.
He won 2 rounds is nothing, bro. If you give him 3 rounds, that means a shutout. What are you talking about? How you doing his confidence? Like, this is what I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand. Listen, you see me. This is what I'm saying to you, bro. What you see and what I see is different. This is why we debate and whatever. But I'm telling you right now, if I'm AJ. That's my next fight, straight in, straight out. I'm taking that fight because you know what? It brings money to the table. It's a winnable fight, and end of the day, it puts the best about the Southpaws. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Because that Zhang, he's coming forward. He's got hand speed. AJ, everything he's got, AJ's got. I mean, AJ could everything he's got, AJ's got. And if you're Fury, you're like, bruh, Fury. Fury, against that guy would be good as well, because he's
that'd be a good fight. There's some interesting matchups in the heavyweight division. I mean, Zhang versus Big Baby Anderson. I would love to see that fight. That's gonna be a slugfest.
Anderson would get knocked out, bro.
You think Big Baby's gonna get knocked out, Anderson?
Hell yeah, he get knocked out against him because who's he fought? Who's he fought? George Irish. Come on, bro. Like, nah.
And Jerry Forrest, man. Let's be honest though. You could argue that Anderson knocked out Forrest in 2 rounds, and Zhang struggled with Forrest. He fought him to a draw, even though he put him down 3 times in the fight, but he was losing some rounds later on, and he suffered some damage in that fight. So Anderson can say, hey, I beat Forrest, you didn't. So what does that tell you? Zhang, that is. So, yeah.
But hey. Big baby. Yeah, go on.
No, I was going to say, Yeah, I was gonna say BG London says that hey, Dillian wants to fight the loser with the injured eye. Wow. Yeah, you know that is true. Why is he calling out Joyce now after he got with the bad eye, but he
Yeah,
doesn't
because
want to
that's
fight
what I told
Zhang?
you,
Why
he's
do you?
vulture. Yeah, he's a vulture. That's what I try to tell you. This the sport you're in, Dan. I'm trying to tell you that all they are. Look, why did Fury right wanted to fight, push the fight, Dillian White after he'd been clapped up by Thingy? Because they knew that his confidence weren't there. Why did Fury want to fight Derek Chisora? You know what I mean? Like, you know why he would have. It's like because he's seen them get smacked up around. Their confidence ain't all there. They're not the same guy they were no more. And arguably, what you're saying is Joe Joyce is not the same man no more. That's what you're saying, right?
I mean, after that beating, I hope he can come back from that. But dude, that changes a fighter, bro. We see it many times in history. That changes a fighter.
That's what. Well, I've seen guys do. AJ got smacked up by Ruiz in such
Yeah,
a way
he's
that
a changed fighter. He hasn't been the same fighter ever since that beating.
but he came back and win, and he went back against
Yeah,
the
he came
demons.
back and won, but
All
he's
right,
been a
and
very
that's what you
intense.
do. And that's what you do. If someone beats you, doesn't matter how you beat them, but you go back and you beat them. It is, bro. And that's why I say that's what you don't understand. You're there looking for all these little things in there, and you're riding with
I
the
understand perfectly. I know when a fighter's mentally not the
You
same
don't know.
after
How do
taking a
you know
beating.
what? You don't know. You're chatting rubbish. Listen, if you knew anything about the boxing, the fact that they're willing to go back in there, the same guy.
Oh yeah, of course they're willing to go back in
That
there,
only
but
shows.
they're
That
not willing
only
to
shows
take that
mental
many.
toughness.
Yeah, they're willing to go
That
back in there, but
only
now
shows.
wait, hold up. They're willing to go back in there, but now they're not willing to take as many
What are you
risks as they would
talking
normally
about,
would
the
do.
man? That's what you see. That's what you're wrong. If you just lost to a guy and you're willing to go back against the guy who beat you, already that shows your character. Look at Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. Why he didn't get? He could have got back in there. Buster Douglas was asking for mad money. Mike should say, whatever he wants, I'll give it. I just need to get back in the room with him and beat him. But Mike said, "Yeah, all right, leave it." And then Evander Holyfield got the belt, and you know how that went on for years. I'm trying to say to you, I know when I'm coaching these guys, that most of the guys we lose, my guys always 100% want to go back against the guy they beat him. Go, coach, show me how to beat him. I want a rematch. That's what you do. AJ did that. AJ showed me character. Even with Usyk, he beat him in the first fight. I want him again. So when you talk about this mental stuff, I don't see what you're seeing, but it's okay. It's okay because at the end of the day, these guys are willing to fight. And I'm telling you, AJ would want to fight Zhang because he beat him in the Olympics, and he is hittable, and it's a winnable fight. Joe Joyce had the wrong game plan, and credit to Zhang if he had the right game plan, and he was underestimated, and he came in and upset the world, and this is what boxing's about. And I always said to you, yeah, when your matchmaker is not really thinking about putting you in winnable fights or close fights, this is what happens. Because at that point, Joe Joyce has been managed and picked very well against guys. Daniel Dubois is inexperienced. Parker was a small heavyweight, and he was thinking he rolls with Fury. All these things what they had in their head, he never helped them. But this guy was a bigger, stronger, better strategy version than you. And Joe was just getting hit after hit. And the trainer, he trains with a trainer who's 5'3", who wears high heels. Bro,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? You know what I'm saying? You see what you need
Yeah,
now.
it's funny though because you have a lot of Anthony Joshua fans who are going to eat this up now. They're like, yeah, you see, you guys really thought this guy Joe Joyce could beat Anthony Joshua? Y'all must be tripping. I'm like, okay, well, styles make fights. Style makes fights. So
You give Joshua problems though. Everyone.
yeah, style makes fights, and yeah, you can say that. That's fine, but we can play this triangle theory all you want to. But let's see if Joshua really wants to fight Zhang at this moment. Honestly, that'd be a bad idea.
No, big idea. Perfect. I 100% believe that if you hear from Eddie Hearn, because we're gonna pursue that fight. That's a fight we want. But I don't know if even if you win that fight, you're in line to Usyk. And I don't know if Joshua wants to fight Usyk straight away. So
yeah, I don't think Joshua wants to fight Usyk again. That's the thing.
I don't know. But I'm thinking he could beat him. I mean, we're in line again. Because Usyk loves fighting Joshua because it's the biggest payday. That's why everyone likes fighting.
He is a style he knows. He's beaten him twice already, so
Yeah,
it's like,
but I think the third fight with Derek James. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I'm saying with the different trainers, and I think AJ has a better training camp. Because listen to this, apparently AJ's nose was bleeding from the last training camp he had with Robert Garcia, because they were making him get beat up in the sparring. AJ was they lost a lot of confidence. You see, when you see AJ fight, he wasn't confident. He fought very safe. And that's because when he was Robert Garcia, this is why they had to get rid of him. It's because they were making him AJ fight in a way with his face. Because Robert Garcia used to do that, and the other trainer, AJ was getting beaten up. He was getting beaten up in that training camp. You know what I mean? Robert was trying to prove that. Robert's whole thing is trying to.
He was trying to improve his durability, basically.
Yeah, Robert likes in his mind is like he thinks the fight is softer. He wants you to prove yourself by getting punched up, and that's not what AJ is about. It's never been about that. So realistically, AJ's confidence was probably daily from and a bad training camp as well. So now he's with Derek James, who's real building his confidence, right sparring chambers, and AJ's nose bled against Thingy. So we have to see. But I'm saying to you, if I'm AJ's people, I'm like, yeah, that's the fight. I don't know if Derek James would probably want the fight, but that's the fight that.
I don't think Derek James is going to want that. Take that.
I think so. I think so, though. I think they'll take it, though. I think they're looking.
It depends when they'll take it. Because if you say now, no, not right now. Maybe
they'll take that. Bro, he's hot off the press. It's a guy that we could beat. I think they 100% will take it, bro. I think so.
I don't know if you're trolling or not with that comment, but I don't think they will. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. I mean, this is boxing at the end of the day. We've seen many surprises like tonight, for example, or today. But yeah, man. Other than that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, man, because I got to get going. I have to go out to dinner right now, man. But hey, thanks for coming on. You have any last words?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming on, Dan. And, this is why we love boxing. The upsets do happen, and it's reignited heavyweight division. Shout out to everyone in the chat who supports me, who doesn't support me. Shout out to everyone in boxing. I'm so happy for Zhang that he should finally get the credit he deserves. Big up to Dan the Man. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the thumb button to help with Dan the Man's visibility. Dan, thanks very much. Take care, bro.
All right, you too, brother. Take care. All right, y'all. Shout out to EJ Boxing Live. In case you guys don't know, EJ does have a channel himself. So all you have to do is go in and look it up in the search engine, type in EJ Boxing Live, and then you'll see about maybe a couple of channels that he has up. Subscribe to each one of them. Greatly appreciate it. Other than that, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I want to give a shout out to Fight Doctor to the chat, Bads, BG London, Steven 4722, Mala, a.k.a. Mala, Joe Host, as always, Boxing Lounge, Ralph Unreal, JP Nichols, Olaf the Mighty. So other than that, guys, I'm going to shut this down. Until next time, peace.